Bombshell new documents just blew the lid off everything you thought you knew about Erica Kirk. She wasn't just a CIA agent. She was her own husband Charlie's handler, guiding him step by step through a maze of covert checkpoints that ended in one place only, his public execution. Now the paper trail is catching up with her. Her glossy backstory is collapsing like a house of cards. And what's tumbling out isn't just infidelity, it's fabrication on an industrial scale. Fake love, fake pregnancies, fake children. Other husbands Charlie didn't know about. A betrayal so total, so meticulously engineered, that Charlie had no idea he was being marched to his death by the woman he trusted most. And here's the question nobody in the CIA or Mossad wants you to ask. If Erica was playing a role this deep inside her own marriage, who was she really working for when she gave the instructions to pull the trigger? Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. Before anybody realised what was happening, Erica Kirk was already giving the orders, acting as CEO of Turning Point while Charlie was still alive. People on the inside noticed. They just didn't understand what they were seeing yet. Then came the Utah event. Security was reshuffled. Regular staff pushed aside. New faces brought in at the last minute. People nobody recognised, who didn't seem to answer to anyone. And a stand-down order was given from within Turning Point USA. Charlie's security was ordered not to cooperate with local law enforcement. An order that whistleblowers are saying came from Erica herself. When the chaos hit, it was over in seconds. Charlie was gone. And the operation to extract his body? It was not chaotic. It was highly professional, carried out by men who almost appeared pleased as they peered down at his body. It's time we apply everything we've learned and take another look at the 10th of October. The crime scene was contaminated within seconds of the assassination. We saw shards of glass in the SUV that intervened and took Charlie Kirk to Timpanogos Regional Hospital. Charlie was wearing a tempered glass lav mic. We can clearly see glass shards flying everywhere when Charlie was killed. And let's not forget the official Fed slop fairy tale we're supposed to swallow. That Charlie was hit in the neck by a 30-06 round. And somehow his bones were so heroic they just stopped it in its tracks. No exit wound, no fragmentation, just a magic skeleton that outperformed basic physics. Look closely at this video. Glass shards flying everywhere. Here's a photograph of Charlie's hand shared by Candace Owens on her podcasts. Those marks aren't blood, and they weren't there in the footage taken moments just before he died. So if it isn't blood, what exactly are we looking at? Tiny glass shards with a very particular explosive compound on them don't just disappear. Not from grass, not from soil, not from a real crime scene. You'd be finding them for years. Unless, of course, you roll in heavy machinery, dig out 2 feet of earth, and pour concrete over the whole thing. Then, the evidence doesn't vanish, it gets buried.
UVU is lying if they said that the construction was pre-scheduled, and I'm going to prove it. Because this is Edward Thomas. He's the one that actually received the work order from UVU on Friday, 2 days after the event. Now let me show you the guy that he recruited to come in and help, because he realized when he got there Sunday morning, the earliest he could get in was Sunday morning, When he got there, he realized he bit off more than he can chew for the tight deadline, and he called in Daniel. Now, this is Daniel. This is Daniel from Hardscape, Utah. First, I'm just going to show here's the pictures that Edward posted. Then here's the beginning of his review for Daniel. And here is the entire review. If you want to talk about some amazing guys, that would be Daniel and his crew. I can't say enough. I do landscaping, but I do not specialize in hardscapes. I was asked to put in pavers under a very tight time frame. I needed help, so I reached out to Daniel and he responded. He and his crew came out and did an amazing job. They worked with us until it was dark and then came out the next morning before the sun was up. Anyway, there's your answer. No, hard no. UVU did not have this work pre-scheduled. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not going to stop digging.
The crime scene was dug up at short notice, paved over, power washed and scrubbed. They even refinished the concrete. All during an active investigation. Ask yourself, why isn't Tyler Robinson's defense team filing a motion for dismissal based off of the site being paved over? This is an automatic reason for a dismissal. The defense can't independently investigate because the entire site has been paved over, wiped clean. The physical evidence is gone. No crime scene, no forensics, no ballistics. Just a blank slab of concrete where the truth used to be. None of this makes any sense. And then consider the fact that a judge has placed over 3,000 people under a gag order, threatened with prison for speaking out about what they saw that day. If this doesn't look like a cover-up to you yet, don't worry. Our whistleblower is about to connect the dots with a sledgehammer. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. The price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with pillsforever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, weight loss and diabetes medication, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this testimony of Joe Tippins, a cancer survivor, thanks to fenbendazole.
2 years ago, Joe Tippins says he was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous. He was going to die of small cell lung cancer.
Once that kind of cancer goes that far afield, the odds of survival are less than 1%, and the median life expectancy is 3 months.
Tippins says he got a tip, not from a pharmacist, but a veterinarian. And in his desperation, he turned from people medicine to dog medicine. Specifically, fenbendazole.
My insurance company spent $1.2 million on me with traditional means before I switched to a $5 a week medicine that actually saved me.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkouts. Please click the link below this video to take advantage of this fantastic offer. Another day, another leaked CIA video from Erica Francie's past has come back to haunt her. They simply can't explain why a beauty pageant contestant was spending so much time with CIA agents, Israelis, and discussing the same things exercising Klaus Schwab's mind at the time. EMPs, devastating cyber attacks, and extreme depopulation.
And I'm here today with the incredible Dr. Peter Pry. He is the Executive Director of the Task Force on National and Homeland Security and Director of the U.S. Nuclear Strategy Forum, both congressional advisory boards. He has served on the Congression EMP Commission, the Congression Strategic Posture Commission, the House Armed Services Committee, and the CIA. I wanted to be able to touch a little bit of topics on the grid vulnerability that we have here in our country and just basically tell the audience what exactly EMP is and what are the threats that we need to be aware of as Americans and what our major security issue here in America is right now.
Well, an electromagnetic pulse can be generated by a nuclear weapon detonated at high altitude in outer space, basically. So you wouldn't see any blast effects, there'd be no fallout effects, but it would generate a super energetic radio wave that we call an electromagnetic pulse. This EMP would destroy electronics across all the continental United States, collapse the power grid, communications, transportation, business and finance. and even food and water would become unavailable. The Congressional EMP Commission on which I served estimated that given a year-long blackout that would result from a nuclear EMP attack, 9 of 10 Americans could die from starvation, disease, and societal collapse.
Wow.
Who else lives that kind of double life? Hanging out with rock bands, Netanyahu's inner circle, and entertainment industry royalty by day, then spending their nights networking about EMPs, grid attacks, and depopulation. That's not a social calendar. That's a clearance level. Now, a Turning Point USA insider spills the tea. Not only was Erica Kirk CIA working closely with Mossad, her marriage was fake. And so were her children, who have now mysteriously disappeared.
Okay, I'm just going to say this straight. The audit wasn't some random paperwork thing. Charlie ordered it 2 weeks before he died. Full forensic sweep. Every account, every shell company, every foreign contract. He was freaked out about where the money was actually going. When the news broke that he was dead, it was still technically active. Like, legally active. Erica killed it that same day. When you'd think she'd be in shock, grieving, she was making financial moves. And not after a review. Not after a board vote, just canceled. Like she'd been waiting for the moment she was allowed to. Millions in transactions just never got looked at. And then she reopened the foreign partnerships Charlie had shut down. The influence shops, the cultural exchange groups, the data mining NGOs sending everyone's data to Israel. The stuff he said was basically a soft power PSYOP pipeline. He cut them off. She rolled out the red carpet. That's when it hit me. This wasn't her fixing his mess. This was her undoing his interference in a political operation he didn't even know about. And the shooting, people think it was chaos. It wasn't. I was there. The second Charlie went down, a team I'd never seen before took over the whole scene. Same jackets, same radios, same body language. They moved like a unit that had rehearsed this 100 times. They pulled the memory cards out of the campus cameras. They wiped phones from witnesses. They walked straight past campus police like they owned the place. They even contaminated the scene, kicked shell casings, smeared blood, moved his body. Then an SUV rolled up, not an ambulance. They put Charlie in the back and drove him off before emergency services even got clearance to approach. Just gone. Like he was evidence, not a person. That wasn't a random assassination, that was an extraction. And the kids, we all thought they were this tragic little family. They weren't his. We found the DNA records later. They were buried, but they were there. The dates don't line up. The genetics don't line up. They were hers. They were props. You can build any public image you want if you wrap it in 2 cute kids and a grieving wife story. And now, they're not with her. They're not with relatives. They're just not anywhere. What kind of mom lets her kids disappear off the face of the earth? Unless she was never their mom in the first place. Unless they were just part of the cover, you might want to investigate that.
The pattern is clear. The information war is no longer theoretical. It's here. A digital prison is being built around us. And the people who want to cover up the Charlie Kirk assassination are now waging war on the American public. The message is clear. You'll be on your best behaviour or risk punishment. Dissenters will be tracked, flagged, and silenced like Charlie Kirk. This is the elite's endgame. A world of digital ID, central databases, and total surveillance. All monitored and controlled from above. We have to fight back. Here's how. First, understand the battlefield. The war isn't being fought with bombs or tanks. It's being fought with data. Your data. And the most dangerous part? They've convinced you to hand it over voluntarily. Here's what nobody tells you. The VPN market itself has been captured by the very people who perfected surveillance. Almost all of the world's biggest VPNs, including Nord, ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, and Private Internet Access, have been scooped up by Israel. You're under attack. This isn't a drill, it's urgent. The good news is that a breakthrough has arrived, one that changes everything. VP.net was created last year, built from the ground up to be verifiable, transparent, and unstoppable. Unlike legacy VPNs, every connection is protected by a mathematically verifiable cryptographic shield. So no third party, not even VP.net itself, can see or log your data. It's faster, it's mathematically unhackable, and it's built for the new era, where privacy isn't a luxury, it's survival. Protect yourself today. Join the movement at vp.net/TPV to shut Big Brother's eyes for good. And here's the best part. Your membership doesn't just protect you, it helps fund the world's first open source, independently audited privacy network. Powered by the people, not corporations.